My name is Ryan, and welcome to Wrestle Realm. Wrestle Realm is my wrestling channel, where I just wanted to have a different place than my main channel to be able to talk about all things wrestling, whether that be WWE, AEW, TNA, UK independent scenes, all sorts. I just thought I would come on here and go live because I wanted to see what it would do. I don't have anything cool in here apart from my cool little intros. We'll see who comes in. There's a couple of subscribers. Maybe we can get a couple more as we go through it. Sorry about that. So yeah, I was just looking on my phone, notification. So yeah, guys, my name's Ryan, like I said, and I love wrestling, love watching wrestling. I've watched it for many, many years, been a WWE fan on and off, I would say. Massive fan in the Attitude Era, just like everybody says. But yeah, kind of fell off it as I got into my older teenager years and probably not being home to watch that kind of stuff and more interested in girls and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. But I was still, I had, my ear to the ground with most of it and been following along. Now I'm pretty much watching everything. I'm watching Monday Night Raw. I'm watching Tuesday Night NXT. I'm watching Wednesday Night Dynamite. I'm watching Friday Night SmackDown, Saturday Night Collision, pay-per-views on Sundays when they do them, WWE Premium Live events. We do prediction shows over on the main channel, which I'm going to be migrating over to here and doing prediction talks and conversations and just generally having a good time, really, just trying to get my voice out there talking about wrestling. And we've got a couple of videos on the channel already. We did some content, myself and my co-host on the channel, Charles, from Reselling for Charity. We did some reactions to Iron Claw. We watched Iron Claw as a movie. I know he'd never seen that. It was the story of the Von Erichs. Definitely check out that kind of content on the channel if you haven't. And yeah. We'll just sit here and we'll see if anybody comes into the chat. We'll welcome you to this community and you can talk. See how long we can go live until we get a viewer and until we can get somebody to say it in the chat. Back in a second. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. It was just somebody came to the door. Okay, so what got me into wrestling? Yeah, let's start with some questions for me. Maybe you guys can get to know me on the channel. Hopefully somebody watches this. Yeah, I remember these days though when I was streaming to nobody for 10 minutes nearly. What got me into wrestling? So what got me into wrestling was like everybody else. I guess I was a kid. It drew my attention on the TV. It was also something that we didn't see so much in the UK a lot. Like we would go to living in the UK, we have lots of seaside resorts, and people would come on holiday to those seaside resorts. And I remember being about 6 or 7 years old and seeing an advertisement for a local wrestling show, and that was probably my first memory of wrestling. I remember being on holiday and seeing this board and seeing these wrestlers out and wondering what it was all about, and thinking that was pretty crazy that there's a guy walking around on the promenade in just his underwear, and there's a girl in a mask and all this kind of stuff. You know, it was pretty weird and pretty crazy. And I remember, you know, a couple more years later, we had Sky in the UK. Sky is a television subscription service. Basically, in the UK, everybody has it. Everybody did have it at that point. Now everybody's got Netflix and all that kind of stuff. But back in the UK, Sky is definitely a thing that is pretty much in, I would say, 90% of all households, especially when I was a kid. So Sky was on one of the sports channels. Wrestling was on one of the sports channels. And I remember like watching the football, soccer, as you guys in America might call it, or, you know, wherever you're watching from. We would watch the sport during the day, obviously, and then at night time, you got to remember, in the UK, we are 6 hours behind. I think 6 hours behind Central American time zones. So when it's midnight in the UK, it's only 6 p.m. in America. So when it's 8 p.m. time for wrestling, when it's time for wrestling and, you know, Raw, SmackDown, they usually come on about 7 or 8 p.m., don't they? In America. So that's like 2 a.m. in the UK for us. And I've always been a night owl, even as a kid, even as a young teenager, as a kid. You know, I was that rebellious boy that was always climbing out of my bedroom window and going out at night, and finding it just amazing to explore my hometown in the dead of night when no one's around. I always like that kind of stuff. That's why I now ride my bike as an adult at night, and I do stuff like that. But back to the wrestling. Wrestling was on at night as well, and it was on at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it would take me through to 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, now it's 5 o'clock in the morning if it's a 3-hour episode of Raw with all the commercials. Thankfully, I have my ways and I don't have to see the commercials anymore. But I just loved wrestling. It was so outlandish and so out there and so different to what I had been brought up with, I guess. You know, it was very different. I remember having my favorite characters. I remember being the oldest of 4 boys and pretty much getting in trouble every single time I was alone with them, because I would be putting them in wrestling moves and in wrestling holds, and yeah, bringing the mattress down from our beds upstairs and into the living room and jumping off the sofas and onto the mattress. You know, the whole do not try this at home. I was one of those kids that tried it at home. I remember vividly putting my brother in ankle locks, in the Masters lock, the Chris Masters lock. I was pretty wild with doing that kind of stuff. I enjoyed it. I'm no Darby Allin where I wasn't jumping off no trucks and getting myself in car crashes and telling the tales or anything like that. I didn't do any of that. I was very mediocre, but I was definitely a wrestling fan. And obviously WWE was the only thing around at the time. As a kid, that was pretty much all we knew. And I grew up in the Attitude Era and grew up with The Rock and Stone Cold and Big Show and Jericho and all the main big names that you would think of and love in today's wrestling, or not so much love anymore with Chris Jericho because he's an absolute tool. Thanks, guys. The learning tree. Oh, don't get me started on the learning tree. The learning tree. And yeah, so, you know, going from there, becoming a young adult and an early teenager, I remember going to my uncle's in Manchester, and he would have the wrestling on, and so it wasn't that it was banned in my house. It was just that it was on at 2 o'clock in the morning, and if I wanted to watch it, I would need to record it or maybe watch it the next day, or if I found time after school or stuff like that. So I enjoyed watching wrestling as a kid, definitely. What is your favorite wrestling promotion? Okay, my favorite. So I've literally taken these questions off Google, guys. I literally just put into my phone 50 questions about wrestling. So the first one was, how did you get into wrestling? The second one is, what is your favorite promotion? My favorite promotion, I want to say it's AEW, but for some reason I feel like there's a stain when I say that, because right now they're not that good. Right now, I don't think that, to be honest, if I'm going to be hand on heart, truthful with myself, AEW's probably never been that good. They are definitely a competitor. They are definitely an alternative. I wouldn't say competitor, actually, because WWE just do what WWE do. They are the monster that they are. But I like AEW because it's different. I like AEW because it gives other wrestlers another opportunity to go there, because not everybody's going to get to the limelight of the WWE. Not everyone's going to get to be the Roman Reigns, to be the John Cena's. Not everyone's even going to get to be the Sami Zayns. Like, you've got to work at it and work at it and work at it. And Sami has done that for so long. And I just can't see some of these new people and some of these younger people that are getting into it today being in the WrestleMania spots anytime soon. So, having an alternative to go to like AEW, like New Japan Wrestling, like Stardom or whatever, it's not Stardom anymore, is it? It's the other one. But yeah, just, even places in the UK, Pro Rev, and yeah, there's too many to mention, and some I can't even remember, but you've got like the ones in Glasgow with ICW, and, we have the independent shows here, but I think the main goal for any of those independent shows, and if I'm wrong, and there is wrestlers out there that have different views, then I'm more than willing to have a conversation with you guys, and you can educate me, because I don't know. I just assume that every wrestler wants to get to WWE. I don't know. Am I naive in thinking that? And I do think now, with AEW being in the mainstream that it is, I think now that kids can grow up and maybe want to go to AEW and not want to go to WWE. So the long and short answer of my question, or the question I posed to you, is, what is my favorite promotion? It changes. It honestly changes, and I think it should change for everybody. I don't think that you should be so blindly following one production and one way of things being told. I think you should definitely broaden your horizons and open your mind and see how a story can be told from a different person's lens and watching on a different perspective. And that's why I like different types of wrestling. One of my absolute favorite promotions was Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground for me is a French kiss of wrestling. It incorporates fantastic wrestling, fantastic character storylines, and it also has the soap opera feel with the storyline. It's not like we're going backstage for an interview with two human beings. When you're proposed to monsters and like larger than life characters within Lucha Underground, their character persona follows that through the storyline of the soap opera that it provides in between matches. So yeah, that's what I would probably say if I was to have to choose one, because my answer is it changes from time to time. But I would probably say my answer is probably Lucha Underground, maybe. And we got somebody in the chat. Look at that. I went 15 minutes before we got somebody. But welcome in the chat, whoever you are, mysterious person. Thank you for coming in. This is Wrestle Realm. I am Ryan, your host. I do have another host on this channel. He's called Charles. He's not here right now. We have an agreement and we just go live whenever we want and we talk about it. This is actually the first live on the channel. So yeah, I just thought I'd do it. Just thought I'd click the button and just go, right? We're going through some questions on my phone. I have a couple of questions. Yeah. There you go. My co-host actually just said, "Are you going live?" I was, yes. I'm going to message him back and go, "Yes, I'm live." Just why the hell not, right? Next question. Favorite male wrestler of all time? Oh, who's my favorite male wrestler of all time? See, instantly I want to say John Cena, because he's the first, and he's not. Don't get me wrong. Please don't leave and unsubscribe from the channel if that's the case, because he isn't my favorite male wrestler, but for some reason, when I get asked that question, he's the first one that comes to mind. And I don't know why. I think I've been brainwashed through my years of just having all that going on. I don't know. We do have one person watching, so like I say, thank you for watching me. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. Introduce yourself. Let me know who you are. It'd be great to introduce you to this community and welcome you to my wrestling community. Yeah, let's just continue with it. My favorite male. Say again. I want to say John Cena, but I'm not sure. I think maybe Kevin Owens. I did like. Now I'm going on who I like, not on my favorite of all time. Who's on my Mount Rushmore? So that's even harder of a question. But who is up there? The Rock's up there, but pre movies Rock. I don't like Dwayne Johnson. I prefer Skinny Rock, if that makes sense. If you're a wrestling fan and you've watched for a long time, you'll understand the reference of Skinny Rock and Dwayne Johnson. They are they're completely different characters in my opinion, and men as well. They are the same guy technically, but they are different characters, I would say anyway. He's on my Mount Rushmore. Cena is definitely on my Mount Rushmore. Orton would probably be on there. Kevin Owens. Yeah. Again, it changes, guys. All-time favorite? Is it Ric Flair? Is it Macho Man? I don't know. That's a hard question. And I asked myself it, so I put myself in this position. I want to give a definitive answer. I don't want to sit on the fence. I want to be able to give a definitive answer that I can give back. I can give the same answer again and again if this comes up in future live streams or in future videos and stuff like that. Because I do want to do more live streams on this channel. It's definitely not Jinder Mahal. I don't want to say Bray Wyatt just for the sake of saying Bray Wyatt, because to be honest, I fell in love with Bray Wyatt over the years. I didn't originally like him. See, Daniel Bryan's very good. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, however you want to call it. He is my favorite male wrestler of all time. He's just a down-to-earth guy. He has a fantastic skill set, probably one of the better ones than people give him credit for. I know WWE gave him his credit, and AEW, he gets what he gets. He's just sitting there collecting a paycheck. I know he's retiring soon. I'm going to say Daniel Bryan. Yeah, Daniel Bryan is my favorite male wrestler of all time. Okay, so obviously you're going to know what the next question is, right? The next question is going to be favorite female character of all time. Let me just check that the chat's working, guys. I'm going to enter the chat myself because I don't know if it's even on. I'm just going to comment in the chat in my other channel. Yeah, okay. So it's coming on, but now I'm watching and it's not coming. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to watch it because I don't want to have I don't want to think I'm talking to somebody and it's just me on my phone. Oh, no, we've got two. Maybe it went down again. I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it took a while. We'll see if that drops down to one and then that was me leaving. Favorite female wrestler of all time. So that was a little bit easier. It's AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife. AJ Lee was transcendent in the industry. I like Nikki Bella for obvious reasons. Brie Bella for not so obvious reasons, but she was very underrated as a twin sister. You could definitely tell that one twin was better than the other. And maybe Brie was better than her sister. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. See, I'm debating with my own self. My favorite female wrestler is definitely AJ Lee. Yeah, thanks, Charles. There's Charles in the chat, guys. Pop into the show me state. There's Charles in the chat. Favorite female wrestler. My favorite female wrestler is AJ Lee. Favorite of all time as well. She doesn't wrestle currently or anymore. She hasn't wrestled for a long time. AJ Lee, portrayed by Paige in the Fighting with My Family. Yeah, I don't know if she actually portrayed AJ Lee. Maybe she portrayed herself or somebody else. No, it was. What was her name? I don't remember. But it's the girl from Oppenheimer that portrays Paige, and I think Paige portrays AJ Lee, something like that. But yeah, no, I really like AJ Lee. Fantastic wrestler, fantastic character, persona. Yeah, loved it. We've got some more questions coming in. Love it. Love these questions. What's your favourite type of match and why? My favourite type of match. See, I'm trying to actually think about your question and not just go off the first thing that comes to my mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is a tables, ladders, and chairs match. A TLC match is my favourite. And I'm trying to sway myself off that, but I don't think I can. So, TLC. Yeah, TLC. A TLC match. Tables, ladders, and chairs. But I like that the matches that have the ramifications of the belt hanging in the middle. I don't see the point in doing TLC matches and the winner is the first one to go through a table or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen those kind of things before and I don't like them. Or just having tables, ladders, and chairs just for the sake of having tables, ladders, and chairs. I like the whole, we've just seen it very recently with Money in the Bank. It's the one match type that makes me cringe and makes me wince. And I know that this isn't real. I know that this is a scripted entertainment. But what the men and women put their bodies through to entertain us is still real, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's one of those, you can say it's fake. You can say this is scripted and it's a determined outcome. But you can't script and determine how much it's going to hurt when you get powerbombed through a set of ladders or a table, no matter how thin the table wood is or what the ladders are made out of. Go and get powerbombed on your sofa and tell me it doesn't hurt, because it does. It hurts. So it's not fake. It's just predetermined. But yeah, my favorite match type, Bobbin, it is TLC. It's a TLC match because of the adrenaline that it gives. It's not just ring the bell, watch them wrestle, ring the bell, we've got a winner. It's ring the bell and all and utter carnage ensues. And, we get the match that we get, and we get the victor by claiming whatever is the prize in the middle, whether that be a championship, whether that be a Money in the Bank contract, whether that be anything, the right to shave Vince McMahon's head. I don't know, I love those kind of things. Hey, NC Collectibles in the chat, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Guys, we've got 4 in the chat. How's this working? We've got 4 people in the chat. Welcome to Wrestle Realm. If you are new here, please speak up in the chat. Let me know who you are, how you are, where you are. I want to know all these things. And it's my first live stream on this channel. I just thought, you know what? Screw it. Instead of recording and editing some videos for an hour and a little bit, I'll just go live and we can talk to some people in the community and we can get some people talking about some wrestling stuff, because that's what this channel's about. This is about wrestling. I know there's House of the Dragon stuff behind me and Game of Thrones, but that's just because that's my main focus and love. But that's only on Sundays and Mondays. We've got other stuff throughout the week that we can talk about. So yeah. Loving these questions from Poppin, Missouri. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, Katie's Creations. Good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you very much for being here. And we have another question. What is your most memorable wrestling moment in your life? Most memorable moment in wrestling. What springs to mind? What springs to mind with my most memorable moment? So the first thing that comes to my mind is watching Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray powerbomb Dixie Carter through a table in TNA. If you've seen that and you're in the chat, there's 4 of you right now. If you've seen that fight or that match or that altercation with the Dudleys powerbombing Dixie Carter through a table, put a 1 in the chat. I would love to know if you've seen it. If you haven't, put a different number in the chat just so I can differentiate between who's seen it and who hasn't. That's probably my most memorable moment. That's the first thing that comes to my mind as my most memorable. It was also around the time, as I'm typing, lol. What, is that what yours is? I'd be very interested if that's what yours is as well. It's just, yeah, I remember it vividly. And I think I remember it more vividly because at the time that happened, I was really into wrestling. I was also going to some shows. I had tickets for some TNA shows in the UK. I've been to a couple in Manchester and Liverpool and things like that. Back while Nick Aldis was in TNA, yeah, Magnus. Nick Aldis was Magnus. He was a wrestler before he was the guy in WWE that makes the contracts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he was a wrestler. Yeah, I agree. Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights is probably my favourite faction. If that was ever a question, I probably should have saved that one, really. People would probably think I would say the Shield, but I wouldn't say the Shield. Aces and Eights is definitely my favourite faction. Most memorable wrestling moment in your life? Yeah, it's got to be Dixie Carter going through a table. That was insane. That really was an insane moment. And I, you know, touching on the fact that I'd been to a couple of wrestling shows, I took my uncle, who's now in a care home with memory issues and things like that, and doesn't remember the wrestling days. But I took him to a show in Glasgow in Scotland, and we watched a TNA show. And I had a Liverpool football shirt on, and I remember being like berated, and because I think Bully Ray came out with a Manchester United shirt, and they did a buried alive match, and he buried his opponent and the Liverpool shirt, because the person had a Liverpool shirt on that came out, and he ripped the Liverpool shirt off his back and buried it. And I just remember being so angry and so heated as a young adult. I think I was maybe 21, 22. I was just so heated. It was insane. And I was like, wow, how am I feeling like this? And that was over, you know, two of my loves. It was soccer and wrestling combined, but it was in the ring. And again, it was Bully Ray. So maybe Bully Ray is my favorite of all time wrestler. Maybe he is. I just didn't realize it, you know. Because he was a great wrestler, but I liked him more on the mic. I liked when he was speaking and when he was doing stuff. So yeah, definitely. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Yes, I'm typing the same moment, says NC Collectibles. Wow. Poppins says mine was being a little kid and getting so excited at a live event that I threw up on the guy in front of us. Oh, that's wicked. Well, that's wonderful. Wonderful. There's a wrestling thing for you, Matt Hardy. Delete. Sorry, just twitching. Awesome, Poppin. Definitely awesome. Let's go back to my list on my phone, shall we? Thank you, people that are messaging me. Thank you. Favorite current male wrestler? Current wrestler is Kevin Owens. So that's too easy. My favorite current wrestler is Kevin Owens, followed very, very closely by Darby Allin. Although we don't see much of Darby Allin do actual wrestling, he's always in the crazy death spots. But I really like Darby Allin. He breaks the mold of what a wrestler should look like and what we think a wrestler should be with what we've been given in the past. You know, you look at the likes of Brock Lesnar, you look at the likes of, I don't know, Andre the Giant and The Rock and all these massive human gods with muscles bigger than my head. And then you get Darby Allin, who is literally a skinny rake, but has done more crazy death-defying things in wrestling than any of the people I mentioned prior to him. And Kevin Owens the same. You know, Kevin Owens has been at it for so damn long. He deserves everything he gets. Kevin Steen, when he was on the Independents and when he was in New Japan, if you don't know and haven't seen Kevin Owens before WWE, go check him out on all of the internet, because, you know, just research Kevin Steen. Great wrestler. Favorite female current wrestler. Favorite current female wrestler. See, this is hard because she doesn't wrestle very well. But it's Chelsea Green. It's Chelsea Green. Of course it is. It has to be. Chelsea Green is. She personifies wrestler in every sense of the word. Television entertainment. She knows how to do it. She knows how to play to a crowd. She knows what she's doing. She acts like the dumb blonde, but really, she's absolutely brilliant. Like, just watch the Money in the Bank pay-per-view very recently. That spot where she comes off the top of the ladder and through the chairs. She's done that spot before. It's a well-known spot for Chelsea. You can see her doing that in TNA. You see her doing that in other places, that exact spot. So yeah, that was a good one. Let's keep going with this chart. I'm loving this, guys. My other moment was when Bully Ray shown his true colours to Hulk Hogan during the Aces and Eights run. Yeah, bro, that was so good. I love the whole Aces and Eights storyline. If you haven't seen it and people haven't seen it, maybe we should do some reactions to that stuff on the channel, because the Aces and Eights storyline was so damn good. It intertwined every single week on TNA, and you got to remember in the UK, guys. And this was when I was growing up as a kid as well. TNA was free to watch. It was on a channel called Challenge TV, and I was on Challenge TV all day because they had Fort Bayard, they had Crystal Maze, they had Catchphrase, and then they had TNA Wrestling, and that was like a whole 6-hour block. Like, you'd get home from school or university, and then that would be on, and that'd take you to midnight. Or and then you'd be going back to bed and be back up for the next day and repeating it back around again. If you had Challenge in the UK, then how good Challenge as a TV was. Let's keep going through the chat. I love this. Hell no, I'm guessing that is at my Chelsea Green comment. For Katie, it's Blissy, Alexa Bliss, I'm guessing. Well, I left Alexa Bliss out because she's not current. Like, she's not back. And we'll see what they do with her. I didn't like when they made her have that doll. I'm sorry, but when she had that stupid doll, I really didn't like it. It just didn't work. And then the whole being twisted and changed by the Fiend. Yeah, cool. It connects her to the character, but I just didn't enjoy it. Thoughts on mixed tag matches? Mixed tag matches are interesting, and they are definitely very fun, and I think that they belong within the world of wrestling, especially on television. I think that if done right, I don't think the WWE do it right. They try to say that they've got a mixed tag match. A mixed tag match is a man hitting a woman and a woman hitting a man for our entertainment in the middle of a ring. The WWE seem to do it where they will have male and female counterparts, but when the female counterpart is tagged in, for example, that then forces the other opponent to then tag in his female opponent. And I disagree with that. That changes the rules of wrestling for me too far. Like, you have a tag match because there's two of you against two, and if one of you is struggling, you can tag your teammate to get in, whether that's female or male. I just feel like the WWE changed that rule too much. And because of today's society and cancelling, people get cancelled here, there, and everywhere, and you can get cancelled for saying the wrong thing. And I think WWE fear that kind of stuff with domestic violence and with all that crazy stuff. I don't think WWE, because it's PG, want to show a man hitting a woman. And I know, I completely know and agree that it isn't just male to female on that counterpart. It is flipped on its head as well. And, same-sex marriages and couples and all that kind of stuff as well. But I just think this is entertainment. And if you can show me somebody being killed backstage, which is what they did the other week, or I'm assuming they did, with Chad Gable had a bullet hole in his head by the looks of it, and he can come back. If you can show me murder on screen, why can't you show me stuff like that? So yeah, that's where I go. Poppin's favourite female current wrestler is Mammy. Yeah, I'm disappointed with Mammy's return. I'll say that I'm sure we'll talk about that more. I I'm disappointed with Mami in general. I'm sorry, Charles. She gave up the title to go get married. Why do that? There was no sign of injury. There was no sign of pregnancy. You were the champion. You were the dominant champion, and you were in a very good storyline. And you gave it up to go get married. Can't it wait? You are a multi-millionaire working for one of the biggest conglomerate companies in the world, and it couldn't wait. Okay, maybe there is factors beyond control, but still, I disagree. I think she should have kept the title because it's only diminished her. It's only made her look. I don't know. I can't say made her look weaker because we haven't really seen her. I still think she's injured. We haven't seen her in any action. Like, why didn't she even? Yeah, I totally agree with you, Ryan. I still have her, but it was a dumb step for her career. I completely agree, Charles. Yeah, thanks for agreeing with me. Thank you. Yeah, it was dumb. It really was, and I can't say that they weakened her because I haven't seen her wrestle. But I think if she's not injured, why the hell didn't she? One, slap Dominic round the face for being a cheating scumbag. And when she was in the ring with him, again, does that go down to the whole domestic stuff and they can't show that kind of stuff on TV? And then two, why is she playing this cat and mouse game with Liv Morgan? We've been playing the cat and mouse game with Liv Morgan since Liv Morgan returned from the injury that you gave her. So you knew the ramifications were coming because you put her on the bench in the first place. So the Liv Morgan revenge tour was always going to happen because of the storyline that was created between the two of you years ago. But now it's a little bit too diluted for me, and I don't know where they're going to go with it. I don't want Mami to take the title. I don't think she needs the title. I think just look at the pop she gets when she comes out. I'm a little bit disappointed that she's not babyface. I was expecting her to come back, and they could do the same with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could return as a heel still. I won't like it, and I'll have something to say about it, but yeah, it's going to be what it is. It's definitely going to be what it is. Let me check my phone for these questions. Favorite theme song? That's a good one. Favorite theme song? Bear with me, guys. I'm going to try and find it. It's this, guys. Oh. 4 people in the chat. I love it. Absolutely love it. Original Hulk Hogan. That's Poppins one. Okay. I am a real American. This is mine. That's my favorite theme song. It's Christian, Close Your Eyes. Christian's 14th theme song. Okay, so Poppins is the original Hulk. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. That one, yeah. That's a good one. Definitely an iconic wrestling tune. Can't hear it? What do you mean you can't hear it? Can you hear that? Could you not hear that? Still can't hear it. What the frick? Sorry, guys. I can't sing it because I don't. Maybe I can share it on the screen. One sec. Give me a sec. And there'll be a lot of this, guys. There'll be a lot of downtime in these live streams. You know, this is just myself chatting and stuff like that. And definitely got to keep my voice. You know me from my other channels. I'm always live and I'm always doing stuff. I've now got a tab open, so we're going to open this up. I'm sorry you can't hear it, guys. I apologize. I'm going to bring it up now on a different tab. You can hear me just fine, but you couldn't hear the song I was playing. That's strange. Okay, so this is my favorite song. Just close your eyes. Cool. Did you hear that this time? You did. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's now I see. Okay. That's one of my favorites. I have many favorites, but that's when that one plays. I always pop off my socks. It's like NC Collectibles. The reason why I like that song, maybe you can connect with this. It reminds me of Rasmus. Thugonomics. It's word life. Yeah. Cena's rap career was good, but yeah, I'm an Eminem fan. You know, the god of rap. So no one can touch Eminem when it comes to rap. No, I wouldn't rate Thugonomics. It was a good album, good music at the time. But yeah, when it first, I'm just going with what comes first to mind when you ask these questions, and it was the Christian song. What was another one I really, really like? I love Gunther's theme tune. You know, it's like the Jaws theme tune, and then I love seeing what's his name, Ilya Dragunov, when he does that whole high czar music and he's moving his hands and dancing to the music. Love that. Who else was really, really good at music? SWAFT, Soft. What was his name? Enzo Amore. Enzo was fun. What sounds more like Baby Shark? What, Gunther's theme tune? You're saying Gunther's theme tune sounds like Baby Shark and not Jaws? Okay. Yeah, Enzo. I loved Enzo. He was great. One of my favorite characters. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. I can't get behind Gunther's theme tune sounding like Baby Shark. I'm sorry. I can't. You're both telling me. You're both saying it sounds like it. You're gonna have to send me a clip and we'll react to it for a video. Let's do some more questions, shall we? We've been on for 45 minutes. We'll try and do over an hour. Least favorite theme song. Okay. Least favorite theme song. Let me search for it. Least favorite theme song. I've got it. There's 2. So what have I got in chat? Who have we got in chat? 4 people in chat. What's your favorite pay-per-view, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, War Games, etc.? I will get to that one in a second, Poppin. We are going to answer this worst one. Whatever song Chad Gable uses. Okay. It's not that one, but I have 2 that I absolutely hate. And I'm going to show you what they are now. Is this the one? Just got to get past the ads, guys. Okay, so I have one lined up, and we're gonna play that because I hate this. I absolutely hate this song. I absolutely hate it. So if anyone didn't hear what that was Alberto Del Rio, Relelza entrance theme. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. And then what was the other one? The Miz is the worst theme song? I completely disagree. Completely and utterly disagree. Like, very strongly. I love The Miz. The Miz and his theme song is pretty good. Favorite pay-per-view is between TLC and Hell in a Cell. Okay. And then the second one that I absolutely hate is this one. My internet is playing up, but we'll get there. I need a better PC, guys. I hate this one as well. Hate it. Hate JBL. Pompous. Oh, it makes me annoyed when I hear this voice. Get off my screen. Get it off. Get it off my screen. That was enough. That was more than enough for you guys, okay? You made me listen to that. Oh. Right, let's get some good questions in here, not the ones I was asking myself. We'll get rid of YouTube because YouTube absolutely shits on my Wi-Fi connection. What is your favourite pay-per-view? WrestleMania, SummerSlam, War Games? So it's changed, Charles. It used to be WrestleMania. My favourite pay-per-view used to be WrestleMania. The biggest show of shows, the most spectacle, grand thing you could ever get. And then they changed it to 2 nights. And now I feel like it's a money grab. And yeah, maybe you could say people get more opportunities on the 2 night. But I preferred knowing that I was going into a 6 to 8 hour wrestling extravaganza, and knowing that this was going to build from the start all the way to the end, and it was going to be a fantastic storyline. We were going to get the Undertaker in there with his, you knew every WrestleMania the Undertaker was going to be going for the streak and all this kind of stuff, and then it changed, and then it just became 2 nights, and it became very, very predictable. WWE has been very, very predictable for quite some time. You've said it yourself, Charles, on live streams that I've been on, that you can be amazed sometimes with the way my mind goes, with the way I can kind of pull things out of thin air, and it seems to happen, and some things don't seem to happen that are actually better than what actually happens. And yeah, it's definitely one of those. So it was WrestleMania. So what is it now? If it's not WrestleMania, what is it now? I'm going to have to go Royal Rumble. I'm going to have to go to the default Royal Rumble. It's the most original. It's the most sacred. I don't know if I'm a fan of making other pay-per-views have the same effect as the Rumble. Like, if you win the Rumble, you can challenge any champion of your choosing at WrestleMania. I'm not too keen on them doing that, say, every pay-per-view. I like that they did it with King and Queen of the Ring. So the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring has an opportunity to challenge any champion for up to a year. That's what I would do. You can hold it like the briefcase. Do that for a year. Yeah, Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is my answer, Charles. That's my answer. My favourite pay-per-view right now is the Royal Rumble. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this coming Royal Rumble, February 2025, It's going to be the first Royal Rumble that's not in January in history. It's going to be the first ever Royal Rumble in February as a month. And February is my birth month, so yeah, that's how I know that fact. Favorite pay-per-views between TLC and Hell in a Cell from NC Collectibles. Nice. I like it. Question: what is one thing in wrestling you dislike? One thing. There's plenty of things I dislike, but what's one thing I can tell you on the live stream that I dislike? I dislike that that the wrestlers themselves are not protected more than what they should be. So, for example, just look at Luis Suarez. No, look at Mohamed Salah. Okay, Mohamed Salah. If you don't know that name, Mohamed Salah is a soccer player. He plays football for Liverpool and for Egypt, for his country. Sometimes he won't even play a match, right? Because he might be injured. He might have a sore leg that day, but he's still getting paid millions of dollars a year to be a footballer, and he sits on that bench and watches his team play for him. But he has job security. He has understanding. He knows where he's going to be working every single week. Milky, to turn a long story short, wrestlers don't have that same protection. Wrestlers are self-employed. They're not hired by the company and under the company's protection. A wrestler is a self-employed worker. They are in it for themselves because that's the only person looking out for them. They don't get paid to travel from state to state. Like, they have to do that themselves out of their own pocket. Like, yeah, they're probably all millionaires. I get it. They are probably all millionaires. But why am I having to pay to come to work? I don't get that. If you are making me fly to another state to do my job, you should at least be paying for my ticket. And if you're not paying for my ticket or my car or my fuel or my hotel, because these wrestlers are away from their families for over a year sometimes, and I just don't like that. I feel like wrestlers, if you want to class this as a sport, they put their bodies on the line to entertain us people watching, more so than your 100-meter sprinter in the Olympics, or your professional swimmer, or your horse racer. Their lives aren't as much in danger, in my opinion. They're not doing somersaults and flips and playing with fire and having bigger men and bigger women throw you around. The human body isn't designed for wrestling. We're not designed to be pummeled into a canvas over and over throughout our careers. That's not what we are. If we were like that, we'd be made out of thicker stuff. So to answer your question a long way, but to give you the short answer, my answer is, the one thing I hate about wrestling is that the wrestlers aren't protected more. They aren't shown enough love in the sense of wages and in the sense of prioritizing their needs to do the job that they do. So yeah, pretty deep, but that's my answer. Thank you, Katie, for the question. I really like it. It was a good, thoughtful, provoking question. My favorite pay-per-view is the same as NC Collectibles. Okay, so one of those two. Okay. What is your thoughts on the prices of tickets for pay-per-views? For who? For WWE or AEW? Because it's very different, bro. WWE are the conglomerate company that they are. They are the name that they are. They've been working hard to make the name, the WWE, be what it is in today's world. They are a publicly traded company on the financial stock exchange for a reason. Yeah, WWE. Okay. So it's an absolute disgrace, in my opinion. I wanted to go to WWE Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and I was unable to. No matter how much I tried to actually afford to do that, one, I'm paid once monthly on the same day of every month. So sometimes that happens to be 5 weeks. because of the way that it works out. And sometimes I have to wait 3 weeks, sometimes I have to wait 5, sometimes I have to wait 4. But majority of the time it's paid on the same day every month. And to plan something like a wrestling event takes a lot of time for me, takes a lot of energy to be able to do something like that. And they fucked it up. They fucked it up. They released money. They released tickets for SmackDown and the pay-per-view on the Saturday night. They were a combined combo deal. And I can't afford to do that. I live in Scotland, okay? I can go to an arena and get a bus or a public transport to the arena. And if it finishes by 10 p.m., then I'm okay to get home. Because where I live is in the middle of a countryside, and my last public bus home is at 11 p.m. and it takes an hour. So I don't get home till midnight, even if the show ended at 10, which is pretty crazy, right? And then what they did was they announced a combo ticket. You couldn't buy solo tickets at the start. It was a combo ticket for entry to SmackDown and entry to to Clash of the Castle on the Saturday. And it was like £4,000, maybe £1,000 if I'd have got a seat that wasn't any good. But I wanted a decent seat. And if you wanted to get on camera, you were 10,000, like ringside. And who's got that? Who's got that money to pay that? I certainly don't. So, some people do, some people don't. I would spend £10,000 at Vegas this year for WrestleMania. So why would I fathom paying close to 2-3 for a pay-per-view in my own city that was really good? Don't get me wrong, but I just disagree. You need to come over and you need to be aware of the market that's here. And I don't think that WWE do that. Like, they went to Saudi Arabia and there's money everywhere in Saudi Arabia. You can see that with the skyscrapers and with the people around. In America, it's a bigger, larger states, more people, therefore more money. You can charge more things because you can fill these arenas. You came to Glasgow. Glasgow is the poorest city in Scotland, I would probably say. If people are from Scotland and that's wrong, please don't shoot me. But I would suggest that it probably is. And that's where you came. And you still charge those prices. Yeah, you sold the place out, but that's because within 3 weeks of the pay-per-view happening, the WWE had lowered their prices and they'd also done solo single ticket events. Well, I'm sorry, WWE, but 3 weeks isn't enough for me because I'm paid once a month. And I need at least 4 weeks notice when you change these things. I'd already given up hope with the amount that it was. And then you did solo tickets, and I was like, okay, I can get a ticket for £200-300. Is this worth it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Ultimately, I didn't go, so ultimately it wasn't worth it. I think I think the next time I go to a WWE event, unless the tickets are very, very attainable and very affordable, then it's going to be a Mania, and it's going to be something that I save up for a long time. Maybe this channel can help me get to there. Maybe you guys can share it out and we can get more people in this community and I can start making some money from YouTube and from the channel, and maybe we get some wrestling sponsors and we get some of that kind of stuff. Maybe we get recognized, and maybe that's how we build our way to these kind of events. But yeah, like I paid £27 to go to AEW All In this year on August 25th. I think it's August 25th in Wembley Stadium. The nation's home ground, our beloved sacred land of soccer, is where Wembley Stadium is, and that's where AEW were going again this year for All In. The ticket was £27, not 270, not 2,700. It was £27. I don't care if I'm not sat anywhere near the ring. I'm going to be in Wembley, first time in Wembley. I'm going to be at an AEW pay-per-view where the matches that they're building for that pay-per-view are going to be insane. And I'm going to be surrounded by like-minded people that love what they're seeing and love what they're doing. So I'm going for the experience, not so much for what I can see, because I enjoy the pay-per-view and the wrestling more when I'm at home watching it. I don't know if anyone's ever been to a pay-per-view. You don't hear commentary. You don't hear Michael Cole when you're in the arena. Michael Cole makes the show in some points. Pat McAfee makes the show in some points. So when you're in the crowd, you don't have that. You have dead time. You have downtime. You have people coming out and saying, okay, guys, in 5 minutes or in 5 seconds, we're going to go live again. And then they count you down, and then you have to fake cheer. so that when you come back from commercial, the whole place is going crazy. It gives you that false sense of security or false understanding of what a wrestling show is. I've been on both sides. I've been in a crowd and I've watched it on TV. Watching it on TV is so much more entertaining because it's made for that. That was a long-winded question. A long-winded answer. I apologize. Chad Gable, lol. Yeah. I disagree with the pay-per-view part, but we'll have to pop on next time and have a discussion. Yeah. I disagree with the pay part. Okay, well, let's have a discussion next time. Definitely. These are very sporadic, though. I'm not going to plan these live streams. These are going to be very. They're going to be very sporadic. When I get the chance, when I get the feeling, when I'm bored, and I want to talk about wrestling. I can't believe I've been going over for an hour, and I feel quite comfortable. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know, but I already had a message saying that I'm doing quite well. I'm surprising myself with how comfortable I am talking solo. I don't know why I can't do this on Monday night with my Game of the Thrones and House of the Dragon content. Maybe I put too much pressure on myself with those live streams, whereas the WWE is very free-focused, free-flowing conversation because it's all just been in my mind for all these years. Maybe that's what it is. Same here for Money in the Bank. Okay. One of my wish is to go to a wrestling live event, but the prices can be pricey, says Katie. So, Katie, you've never been to a wrestling event? Okay. Yeah, I would definitely speak with NC about that one. Yeah, they can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite in your face. I know that you might have, if you have some issues with some light sensory things like that and stuff, it might be a bit, just speak with NC about it. I'm sure you would do fine, but just be cautious of that because it is a very boisterous place to be. When they come to Canada, the prices are expensive, as paying the price and taxes on top of it. Yeah, no, I hear you. I completely hear you. Yeah, that's one of the bummers with the taxes and stuff. It should all be included. We have VAT. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, I just yawned. It's I'm not tired. It's a lack of oxygen. It's 2:00 in the morning, and I haven't been outside for any fresh air for a little while. I was just checking my other channel there. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Katie. Katie says that you are doing an amazing job. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm passionate about wrestling, guys. I could talk about wrestling for days and days and days. I have watched so much. It's unbelievable. We're going to be doing more stuff on this channel, so definitely stay tuned if you are enjoying this conversation and this kind of content regarding WWE, AEW, and any other wrestling promotion out there that is making content that isn't going to copyright strike us for making said content. I do have a co-host on this channel. It's not just me. I have a co-host called Charles. He has a channel called Reselling for Charity, and he was also in the chat here with Popping in the Show Me State. It's his main channel. If you're watching this on the rerun, please go over and check him out. Give him a link. Check out everybody in the chat. There's NC Collectibles is here. There's Katie's Creations here. We've got a great little community going so far. Yeah. But I think that's about it. Let me check my phone for one more question. So I'm going to answer all these in another live stream as well, because there's like, have you been to an event, and if so, which one? Who has the best merch? Worst nickname? Best mic skills? Most annoying? Most attractive female and male? There is literally hundreds of questions that we can answer on a live stream. So I'm going to pick one of these out. I'm going to go with favorite heel. Who is my favorite heel wrestler? Now, you might know him, you might hate him, but it's MJ. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He personifies new age, old school wrestler, if that makes sense. If it does, it does. It does in my head. If it doesn't, I apologize that it doesn't in yours. He's a new age, old school wrestler, and he's a perfect heel. He is just unstoppable on the mic, unmatchable. Nobody's as good as MJF, in my opinion. Yeah, MJF would probably be my favorite what's the word? We'll put it out there into the ethos. I will feel like I've made it on this wrestling channel if I could ever interview MJF on the channel, in person, however that may be. I'm going to AEW All In, so I have a chance. I'm trying to send emails for press so I can get to the press event and I can be in that room when they ask those questions. I would love to do that. So stay tuned. Maybe Toni Storm. She would be even better to talk to as a female sense from AEW. I think it's Toni Storm as the females. Yeah, definitely. And MJF in the males. But yeah, so that was just a little bit of a nugget for you that I gave. Katie says, been to local indie shows with Rock Solid Wrestling a few times. Loved it, just not been to a WWE live event. Okay, yeah. Well, I definitely think that you'll get to a live event sooner than later, for sure. Canada is full of it right now, isn't it? The WWE are always going there and back. I don't think you're going to get another one this year. I don't think you'll get a pay-per-view again this year in Canada. I do believe that you'll get maybe a Raw or a SmackDown, but I don't know if that would be near you. It would probably be Calgary or Toronto, maybe, I would say. But yeah, it's interesting, though. It's definitely interesting. I don't think we'll get one in Scotland anytime soon, either. But my plan is to move to America, and if I move to America, I would definitely 1 year follow the WWE as best I could. That would be a good vacation year, or a good plan of attack. Save up some money for a couple of years, get a car, and just drive the states, drive the lines from one town to the next, following the WWE and having the ticket. I don't care if I'm on the front row. I'll happily be the last man at the back. I'm in the arena, surrounded by people. Yeah, milky shirt guy. There you go. I don't even care if I was that, But yeah, I would love to do that. I'd love to follow it around just for the year, from WrestleMania to WrestleMania, vlog it all, show you how much miles it takes to do that from year to year. That would be a really cool content. I really like IRL content, and I could meet so many American friends on the channels from previous channels and all that. I just think it would be great. But yeah, guys, I am slowly losing the energy and the will to talk. I just did an hour live stream with Headless talking about Acolyte, and then I decided, you know what, we're going to go live on Wrestle Realm for the first time. So if you were in here, I want to thank you, because you helped me with this conversation. I think I went like 14 minutes, nobody in here, talking to myself, but I said to myself, well, we'll just stay here. Somebody will find us eventually. And you did. And I thank you for that. Thank you very, very, very much. This is, one of my little labours of love that I wanted to do. And I'm happy, and I think it's a success. And this conversation was great. So yeah, guys, I don't have no fancy shit to play you right now. We're just going to keep it simple. We will build on this channel as we build on it. But I will try to do one of these every single week, where we just talk about wrestling, talk about anything. So if you have any wrestling questions that you guys want to ask me, or want to know Milky's opinions on, save them up, write them down, put them in a notes thing on your phone. And then the next time you see the Wrestle Realm go live, come and bring those questions to the chat, and I'll happily and gladly answer them for you. And don't worry, like I said, we have a co-host on this channel called Charles, and I will be putting these questions to him next time that he's free and we can get a live stream. And hopefully he can go live on his own one day and talk about these, because he's got access. So yeah, Katie says, enjoyed the live, bro. Looking forward to more lives. Hope to enjoy one day. Hope to join one day. Katie, you're more than welcome. You know that. Always welcome. But yeah, guys, on that note, I've been Ryan. This has been a Wrestle Realm debut live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember where you were on the day that I went live for wrestling, because this could be the start of something new. I'm going to cut this up, put it onto X, so might have a couple of these little things on X. Maybe some of my questions and my answers can go over there, and we can draw some more people in. But yeah, if you have a wrestling friend, or know a wrestling friend, or somebody that would be interested in this kind of live, then please share it with them. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on the flip side. I think we have one of these cool little things here.